work from both of our strengths. And
Good morning, everyone. Hungry Black Man here. It
good
started,
morning,
though.
Jill Tracy. How are you?
Guys, today.
Listen.
So today we're gonna have a pretty interesting show. I love the fact that recently, Joe, we covered a black-owned Japanese noodle spot.
Wow,
And and he is doing very well. He sent over a text message saying that he had the best 2 days of his business since COVID hit.
Yay!
Yeah, he was like, so it's in Fort Lauderdale. It's in Fort Lauderdale, and yeah, it's jealous delicious.
Yeah,
It really
I love Asian. I mean, that's like I cook Thai and Japanese. Well, I don't cook a lot of Japanese. That's rolls and shit. Maki.
Yeah.
And like last night, I made like a Thai sweet and sour shrimp and vegetable fried rice with some bean sprouts. I love Asian food.
No, that sounds great.
But so, yeah, I would love to go there. Love, after all this shit's over.
Definitely.
So what is he doing? Is he doing sit down business?
It's definitely a sit down business. It's like you come in, they put the noodles there, they put your toppings, they put the broth, and then you just eat it. It's good. I'm going to share with you guys really quickly a Kanye. If you go to Kanye's website, he has this really interesting video. This guy's so complex. Like I'm a fan of his music. I'm a fan. I'm just a Kanye fan, unfortunately. And I just hope that he gets the help that he needs, because he's literally having some serious.
There can never really be justice on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car is hooked up, no, you want to follow me. Your laws are minimal, because you won't even think about looking at the real criminal. This has got to cease, because we be getting hyped to the sound of the police. Now here's one little truth. Open your eye while you're checking out the boombox. Check out the exercise. Take the word overseer like a sample. Repeat it very quickly in a crew, for example. Overseer, 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 officer, officer, officer. Yeah, officer from overseer. You need a little clarity? Check out the similarity. The overseer rolled around the plantation. The officer is off patrol in all the nation. The overseer could stop you from what you're doing. The officer will pull you over just when he's pursuing. The overseer had the right to get ill, and if you fought back, he had the right to kill. The officer had the right to arrest, and if you fight back, he'll put a hole in your chest. They both ride horses. After 400 years, says KRS-One, I have no choices. Can I hear me a little louder? They will overcome. The devil is using you, confusing you. Our job is to understand who is who. Righteous indignation in this nation. We don't start a revolution in this basement. And I think day is truly blessings. Y'all had your statistics and all them goofy questions. Y'all had your fake leaders, don't worry, we got it. And plus it's only 21 days to break a habit. Mama, I need you to tuck me in. I done made some mistakes and they rubbed it in. Boy, I know grandma had enough for them. Boy, why I gotta be so stubborn then? Boy, I'm doing this one for y'all, so we can end racism once and for all. How many prisons they gon' make? Wash the safe, one hand, wash the other, both hands, wash the face.
Good one.
Right?
Where did that come from? Where is that?
It's just on his website. If you go to Kanye's website, it's the weird website. You just go on and
KanyeWest.com.
It's the first thing that pops up. It's like you go on the website, it's right there.
I gotta go watch that several times. To your point, yeah, I have been a fan of Kanye since college dropout.
Yeah.
So, I will take him in all of his machinations, like all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something so much greater there. Then he's multi-dimensional. You can't just look at him and get it.
So I'm going to show you guys. Our conversation is going to be pretty good today, guys. We're talking about the Black mind. So when we say the Black mind, what all encompasses the Black mind?
Shay said he got an album coming out.
Yeah, he does. He does. What all encompasses the Black mind? How do we, as a race, have so many complex and competing ideas, and then still move forward collectively? I'm going to show you guys what Kanye actually is doing. That is a great blueprint for Black economic power. And so I'm going to play you this video and how he threatened to sever his relationship with Gap. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is so significant. Yeah. It's probably the first time in history, to be honest with you, that a Black entrepreneur had this much power over a brand. Gap brand lost 6% in shares. You know how significant that is? Anyone that's familiar with the stock market and familiar with investments, that is a massive drop. And so I'm going to show you through his rant how that happened. And then we're going to get into that conversation.
Yesterday, it's so funny that you picked those, because yesterday I was thinking about doing like a versus, right? Have a versus debating, different philosophies, like Kanye versus Nick Cannon.
Hilarious.
Right? We can do that.
Hey, you guys, hold on, Joe. You guys have to listen, because it's very
down there. Awesome.
Listen to what he says, guys.
On the news. Look at that shit.
They gonna respond now.
Nah.
So, that brings us to a very interesting topic where we want to start out. And it just, and the other thing, Joe, is that
time before we do that, can we say happy birthday to you? Happy birthday to you, Suzanne McDowell. Hi, baby. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Okay. I think her drive-by yesterday, so.
No, I don't think Kanye misworded what he said. What this queen said, I think Kanye misworded what he was trying to say about Harriet Tubman freeing slaves. I believe he meant that we are still going through some of the same shit. No. He meant what he said, because Harriet Tubman, with some slaves, Harriet Tubman did work with John Brown, who was a revolutionary, to get employment with some white folks in the North. And so he attributed the mass number of slaves. You got to remember, Harriet Tubman freed about 700 slaves over a span of 19 trips. And she went through some real tough times. She drugged babies so that they wouldn't cry. She had threatened to kill people who would turn around. This woman was not a joke. And so the things that she had to do and the methods that she had to use may seem a bit crazy in today's standards. And I think Kanye, unfortunately, his genius is routed in the musical artistic world, but he's not a historian and he's definitely not a professor. He's not someone that can take history and process that and interpret it in a manner that forwards the conversation about juxtaposing the life that existed in the 19th century as it relates to the success of the 21st century. He erroneously makes those connections and minimizes them to a level that critical thought is absent. And so I think that a lot of folks don't realize that. Yeah, I mean, why do you disagree? You think that Kanye West has the knowledge on interpreting history as it relates in a relative sense to today? Because obviously his rhetoric does not reinforce that he has that.
I think that it's just a different, like I think his interpretations are different. Remember, his mother was a scholar.
No, I think Kanye West is a genius. Like I literally think he's a genius.
I believe that, we will find out later, right? Probably through his children, the method of his madness. We just don't understand it now, and neither does I believe that he does. It's so much. Being bipolar is a very interesting space to be in, and I don't think he corrupted. I just don't think that we understand, and a lot of times if it doesn't come across palatable and easy to understand immediately, we dismiss it. But as we see, we cannot dismiss Kanye. Every time you get ready to dismiss Kanye, he comes back with some shit like, okay, I'm sorry. He came with that gospel album. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. It was brilliant. And then he went on gospel tour. Brilliant. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just is going to take us some time to understand the method of his madness. But I do believe that there's something deeper there. I don't think he's just throwing shit against the wall.
No, I think that, like I said, I don't think that there is an unintelligent design behind what he's saying or attempting to explain. But when he makes statements like, slavery, there was a choice, we understand the abstract, the very abstract sort of human condition realities of that you have a way out, that you have suicide, like the kamikazes, you can kill yourself rather than being. And so when he made that statement, we understood the academia behind it. Like you can have that conversation. However, in the context of how he's presenting that information, it's incredibly misleading. And because he's so intelligent, he understands the inflammatory reactions that will happen as a result, which is a distortion of the actual historical conversation. Because once you say something, and
he's disrupting our historical conversation.
Well, he's inflaming it. It becomes inflammatory when you make a statement that Harriet Tubman did not free slaves. That is an erroneous, inaccurate, historically distorted statement that is used.
But look, he's got a great portion of the world this week talking about Harriet Tubman.
No, but like
people going to research to prove him wrong. It's just a very interesting dichotomy about the way he works and how the power that he knows he wields gives him the space to go out there and say crazy ass shit like that.
And that's a very patriarchal thing to do, because women can't do that. I looked at Chrisette Michele, who only fucking sung at goddamn Trump's.
Is she still even here?
She's done. Right. Done. So the double standard that we have for Black women is such a big problem for me, because I see it over and over and over again. And we even shared about the hungry Black man, the fact that as a Black woman, you couldn't go around just eating as much and taking pictures in front of big tables of food and just consuming yourself. And what's crazy? I was at McDonald's the other day, and I am not in any way a heartthrob. However, I'm a man at the end of the day. And so when I'm driving through, Popeye's chicken, right? Mm-hmm. And the ladies on just very, very aggressive on over the intercom. And so when I get to the front, Jill, I had a coupon on my phone for $8.99, right? It's a coupon that I got, a digital coupon.
Right.
And so I went to the front and I was like, oh my God, I left my wallet at home. I literally left my wallet at home. And then, so I was like, I'll come back. And so the lady was like, well, we're going to be closed when you come back. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I'm digging through the car for change and dollars. And my dad always taught me to kind of always have money in the car. So I mustered up $5 worth of like change and pennies and shit. So I was like, well, I only have $5. And so the manager, she comes over and it's these two black women and they're looking at me and they're like, you know what? Just give me the $5. And they did a little code and they let me give them the $5. And, you know, I drove away with my chicken, you know,
Right.
and I'm thinking like that was literally because I was a man. The way that their interactions were, I noticed that like, and so I'm going to give another example, Jill. We have a woman that's our program manager for our company. She was dealing with a woman who is a high level administrator in the school system who hadn't returned her calls, hadn't returned her emails. And so I'm just like, you know, well, what's the problem? So I hop on the computer, I email her, I get an email back in 2 minutes. and Kim had been trying to reach this woman for a week. I get an email back in 2 minutes and she's like, what's good, King? And all this other stuff, you know? So I'm just like, I think it's interesting that women, especially black women, can have all the genius in the world, can have all the worth in the world, but they're so, when they're fallible, when they make a mistake, it is so unforgiving on both sides. Like let Oprah, who I have a lot to be imagined with Oprah, but let Oprah, who black men traditionally don't really like that. Like the majority of my black colleagues, like they don't like Oprah because of reasons that we have. However, if she does something to anger black women, she will be done. So like the thing is that like I realize the power that black women have. And so I'm always asking myself, like, why do I only see the sisterhood dynamic in sororities or churches or civic groups, but then when it's an individuality, sort of individual interactions, it doesn't seem to come off that way. It doesn't. The unity seems to be missing. The same way with black men, for that matter. And so my question was in reference to when you look at Kanye West and you look at Chrisette Michele, why did we do that to Chrisette Michele, and why aren't we doing that to Kanye?
Well, because
and specifically black women. Why aren't black women?
Michele was expendable. She was disposable.
But that's fine. I'm asking, why was she? And why
that's what I'm saying, because Chrisette Michele wasn't as famous. She wasn't as relevant. She wasn't moving the culture or any of that like Kanye. She was not as big a star. She was, she's aight. But she did something ridiculously egregious, and you'll never work in this town again or any other.
Well, black people did
won't happen. But I'm trying to think if anybody on here can think of an artist. And don't give a damn. I love it. What's that? Good morning. I'm so ADD because I'm trying to talk to you and I'm always watching what they're saying. But anyway, I'm gonna come back to that.
And look at the misogyny. Think about this. When what's the woman name? All black men make anti-gay, anti-LGBT statements all the time.
Yes.
And you got that one woman. What was her name? The gospel singer, the short one. What's her name? She was very famous. I'll tell you her name right now. Someone's gonna probably put it up. So she made from the pulpit. Let me see, and it'll pop up. When I say her name, anti-LGBT comments.
Oh, there's another Jill. Hey, Jill Washington. There aren't that many of us out here. Hi,
her
Jill
name is
Washington. Welcome.
Her name is Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell. Oh, yes, they ate up a breakfast.
But think about this. So all of the anti-LGBT statements made by men, made by rappers, made by black pastors, they don't get canceled like Kim Burrell. Kim Burrell was done. The moment that she said that, she was done as a woman. And so I think that there's a big fucking problem with that. And no one seems to notice, like, there's a huge double standard. And so I want to know, how can we minimize that so that Black women can have the same freedom to say and do what the fuck they want to do in the public sphere, so that they say, you know what, like, the conversation can be forward. And the thing that I love about Black women as a group, and so some people get upset when I talk about this because they feel that I'm being one-sided, but I'm speaking as a group. Black women as a group are extremely they have the largest warrior mentality from our people, in the sense that, you know, they get less than, and they get treated less than, and they don't get the notoriety that Black men get, and they still stay loyal, and they not only stay loyal, but it's almost like how white women defends patriarchy when that's all they do is talk about fighting against it, but then they turn around and they vote for Trump in mass numbers. And right. This is a guy who, you know, and so, like, I think women in general have this interesting dynamic of, like, incredible power, but then for some reason doesn't exercise it until the patriarchal system is attacked. So Black women have come to the defense of a Black man way faster than the defense of a Black woman in mass.
Say that again.
Black women will come to the defense of Black men way faster in mass than the defense of a Black woman. And so I noticed that, like, you'll see Breonna Taylor's murder, and then you'll see George Floyd murder. Okay. My God, Black women were like, enough, you know, and it's almost like this protection, like they go into protection mode. But when it's one of their own, it's almost like, you know, I'm gonna share the hashtag, or I'm gonna talk about it, but it's not gonna be a very serious conversation where the women of Congress, the Black women of Congress, get together and say, there are unique attacks against Black women, and I am going to call for a bill to protect Black women, or I'm going to unite.
Before I lose that train of thought, at the same time, there is a cost. There's a higher cost for Black women when we speak up, because and whether, I don't know how many of us, I wish I could point to somebody right now that I could think of. Chrisette Michele don't really count, but somebody of great measure who, you know, had the world's attention, spoke up, and was admonished. I can't think of anybody right now. Somebody in the thread can, but to that point, right? I think that as a Black woman, right, if I have something to say about another Black woman, the third Black woman and the rest of the choir will come after me for admonishing that Black woman quicker than they will a man like you talking about Kanye. If I started talking about, I don't know, Beyonce or
Trina
could be a good one. Trina could be a good one.
Black women,
the ire of every, you know, Black woman that supports Trina. It's different, and I think because I can't think of anybody. Shirley Chisholm kind of comes to mind, but a lot of people don't even know who she is. But if you can think of a Black woman in history, our current history, that has been really vocal and outspoken in the public conversation, the way, let's say, Toni Morrison was in literature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We suffer from that greater than men do. Men can come back from that. We can't come back from that a lot of times. And it's a female thing. It's a Black woman thing. There's and if there's anybody, like any organization, anybody that's palatable to beat up on, it's the Black woman that nobody's going to, suffer any consequences for if you throw the Black woman in any organization under the bus.
So I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to come back to this conversation. This is on the notion of protecting Black women. There was a woman who posted and asked that question, how do Black men protect Black women? And I was looking at that, and I said, I protect Black women every moment I get. And so she goes, how? And
Right.
I didn't respond to her. I didn't respond to her because I did not feel that she was looking for an actual conversation, but rather to reinforce her narrative that she doesn't feel protected by Black men. And so rather than having this conversation about, me putting, then she go, well, you do that, but that, and so I didn't want to get into that. So I found this story.
See, that's what I mean. Like you ignored her, so you didn't engage in that conversation. So what was she left with?
Well, I answered her initial question, and then she followed up with a question that I didn't want to get into.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So then what was she left with? Either you didn't think her conversation, she wasn't left with a positive from that. You see,
I understand.
and that happens a lot with Black women. We get that a lot.
And it wasn't, so it definitely wasn't rooted in a gender thing. I do that often.
I mean, it may not have been for you, but I'm saying that's why Black women have the stress level of a white woman in a mental institution, because that's gonna happen to her 12 times in that day. She's not gonna get her needs met. Right.
So this story was very, very heartwarming, and I wanted to show you guys. I love the fact that Atlanta Black Star is one of the few publications, and you can tell
they love Atlantic Black Star,
and they just need so much help because I always look at the writers, and it's always like the same 3 to 4 writers. So
right.
All right. So this woman moved to this area where she was being harassed by white neighbors. And so I'll show you guys this.
At 2 a.m., 3 a.m., dropping shit on my property. And then they said to me, Miss, you have to clean up the shit. I don't own a dog. They own a dog. In the middle of the night, they're throwing shit on my property. And then he calls Valley Spring Village Ordinance, and I get a ticket. I had to go to court for offense because of this man and his harassment. Allow me to pray here. I only want to pray here. I'm not asking for him to be arrested. I'm not asking for.
Oh, that was lovely. Mute your mic.
All right. So,
did it stop or is it buffering?
It's being Comcast is what it's doing.
At 2 a.m., 3 a.m., dropping shit on my property. And then they said to me, Miss, you have to clean up the shit. I don't own a dog. They own a dog. In the middle of the night, they're throwing shit on my property. And then he calls Valley Spring Village Ordinance, and I get a ticket. I had to go to court for offense because of this man and his harassment. Allow me to pray here. I only want to pray here. I'm not asking for him to be arrested. I'm not asking for.
So this Black woman has these weirdo, wacko neighbors who are throwing dead animals. They are having their dog to defecate on her property. They're throwing dead squirrels. They're just harassing this Black woman to the point where they now do this. They throw the dead animals. They put the shit on the property. Then they call the city sanitation people. Code enforcement comes out, doesn't listen to her, issues her a citation to now have to clean up the shit that they did.
Right.
She has a very small daughter, and this incredible story, this Black man heard about this and decided to go, and we're going to get him on the show. He decided to go and protect this Black woman and stand guard outside of her house. And this is starting to kick in. There we go. This is him outside of her house. Still on the bike. And so, kind of weirdo. And so he goes live. He says that he stays on live all 12-hour shifts outside of her house just in case something pops off and they can see it. And so this is, and now you guys watch this. I guess he's just reading the sign. The hell, found my cash app. They sent $5. Stop.
You got a nice voice.
Is he holding pizza? Did you?
Hey, what's up?
Anthony?
Yeah. Yo.
That's what you do. Thank you for what you're doing, man.
Wait, who's this coming from?
This is from all of us. The Valley Stream, man.
Want me a pizza?
I get pizza every night, Kiki.
Yo, thank you.
All right? We appreciate what you're doing.
Yo, thank you.
Be here tomorrow.
I'll be here too. Wow.
You know, we see the ladies that help you out, more people going to come help you out.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night, man.
Yo.
All right?
Yeah, thank you, man.
So, you know, this is just, that was just so incredibly amazing. And then you go here and you see that a sister, again, about a Black woman, again, sets up a GoFundMe with a $2,000 goal, and they've raised $42,000. And so $42,000, you know, it's just so heartwarming to see. And this woman has such a young baby, and look at all of the education that she has on that goddamn door. She teaching her child, a single mom being harassed by a white man. That is my problem. We keep having a problem of these white men harming and fucking with our women. And I love the fact that there is a large majority of Black men, when this is seen, this is what I will say. I don't like when Black men harm Black women. That is horrible. But what I notice is that it's almost like the same way that white men attack Black women. You never see a Black man attacking white women, but you see time and time again, white men, all of these racial videos, you consistently see white men accosting Black women. Yeah. And so when Black men are in the presence of that, they will always, for like 99% of the time, I've seen Black men defend Black women, especially in that situation. There's no situation where a Black man will be standing there and letting a white man, you know, cost a Black woman. And I think that sometimes Black men don't get enough credit because I see that, right? That's what happened to me actually twice. I had to step in because a white man was being aggressive toward a Black woman. And so you saw that with the McDonald's situation when we drove and we gifted the flowers with that Black woman who had to fight that white man who was attacking her in the McDonald's. And that's why I was so upset. We drove up and blessed her because there were Black young men, which is a problem with the younger generation. There were Black young men in the back standing there just looking at her fight this white man off of her. And that was just problematic for me. So I didn't know where she was. Thank God, because I made a post. I was like, I'm going to drive wherever she is, you know. And I was thankful that she was actually in Florida, so it wasn't that big of a drive. But you know, when I saw this story, Jill, I just really want to commend the brother, and I want to get him on the show, and I want to give him a love offering from our followers because we want that type of energy where Black men turn into the protectors that we're supposed to be, like him guarding that house for 12 hours. And I just love the fact that you see so many examples of Black love happening all over the nation. And then you see the stories that, you know, aren't so lovable. However, there's you see the balance that Atlanta Black Star at least is able to do. You know, I didn't see that story on Blavity. I didn't see that story on The Root. I didn't see that story on all of these other white hijacked so-called Black media companies. And that's my problem. You know, so when you want to balance the stories that they'll promote, when they'll show, you know, that the thing we showed last week with those women beating that pregnant woman and kicking the little toddler in the head and all that stuff, you know.
Is there follow-up to see what happened with that? Trevor meant to say defend, not defund. Trevor said we gotta teach young men to defund Black women at all costs.
I know they're doing a good job at that already.
I know, Christine. Star X, make it happen.
No, you know, so back to this woman said, yeah, you're absolutely right. Hopefully she'll buy the camera with the money that she gets.
Right. I'm sure $42,000, she's gonna have some cameras on 48 hours a day. I mean, 24 hours a day. She needs to put that's whatever I said, put the rest. I'm glad. Exactly.
That's why black men are removed from the household to not be able to protect our queens.
Yes, Danielle. Yes, you better say it. That's just right. Now that's how you can trace how we got here.
Oh my God, she had guns. So she did have camera footage. Okay.
Oh, okay. Of them with guns in her backyard.
So I think that like looking at just looking at how these things are sort of unraveling,
yeah, and Christine said Jill is on the spot with this, and black women can go back, can partake in misogynoir too. That internalized self-hate and pick me attitude is sad. Anissa, yes, child. Yes. Azalea. Oh, yes. What was her name? She's new. I haven't seen her. Katina. Hey, Katina. Azalea Bank. Girl, you just did that one. Yes. That one is a case study. Black women often get shamed for aiming to be morally pure, yet black men can flip-flop between ideas and get less than that. But girl, yes. Yes, you have one idea at work and then you change your mind and be like, oh, but I thought you were all for X, Y, and Z. Now you want A, B, and C. Well, I don't know how that's going to work out. We'll have to have a committee meeting on that. We'll put it back on the table.
I think that black women, I think that women are given less grace in that area because women are smarter than us, and you guys your standards of being consistent is higher. And I think that's why Jada's going to have a hard time. I think she's going to have a really hard time because of what and how she went about doing that she destroyed the purity that we have in our minds. We can talk all the shit we want, but deep down inside, all black men know that black women are righteous. If you treat a black woman well, she'll never be disloyal. She'll never do anything to hurt. And I think that's why.
Yeah, unless you are the third or fourth in line. Because there are some black women out here. I mean, hello, beloved. Can we just say that? There are some black women out here who have been so terribly damaged that, it really takes a Herculean effort and Jesus to let them trust and love again. There are a lot of us, a lot of walking wounded out here.
And I've dated a lot. And I don't have a problem. I've dated a lot of that, and I don't have a problem with that because when you're truly a man and you're taught to be a man, you can handle that because it's not something that you can't handle.
Right. Yeah. If you in it to win it because it will eventually, that love will eventually break through. It will. Don't
let it be a Scorpio on top of that. A Scorpio and a Cancer hurt. That's, oh my God, that's the worst. Which is why August Alsina and Jada are both Virgos. They're both Virgos. And that's why Jada's so heartless.
I asked you. Huh? What sign are you?
A Leo. My birthday's Thursday.
Oh, shut up. Virgo, August 27th.
Yeah, I'm a Leo. But she's when I saw that both August and Jada were both Virgos. And guess what? My kryptonite sign for black men are Libras. I don't like Libras. I don't like black male Libras. They're the worst. They're just all of my kids, my nephew, my godson, they're all Libras. And like, I like male Libras, they're like, I've never seen any, like, it's just like, they're the worst. So when I saw Will Smith was a Libra, I was like, oh, I can only imagine.
Doomed.
I was like, this is over. So that's why she connected with August, and that's why she seems so heartless because she's a Virgo. Telling you, like Jada seemed heartless. Like she just
heartless. What am I?
She does this thing. Oh, Roy, we got the same birthday. Me and Roy got the same birthday.
Oh wow! All right, Leo season. Yeah. Well, happy birthday coming up. Oh, same day.
That's
what
funny.
Day? Tuesday.
That's also
something nice for you.
Also Haile Selassie's birthday, the Emperor of Ethiopia.
Oh, that's dope. Same day?
Same exact day.
We gotta do something nice for you and Roy on your birthday.
Yeah. So when you looked at Jill, Libra women are amazing. Libra women are amazing. And guess what, Jill? The compatibility of a Libra and a Leo is high.
Yeah.
And so like Libra women, I've had nothing but positive experiences with Libra women and Pisces women and Leo women. I mean, Libra women. Leo women are something else. That's a whole.
These are Leos. Yeah. All of my besties are Leos and Virgos, and Scorpio men are my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Whew.
Aries.
I keep finding them. It's like, okay, I got a moratorium on Scorpio men.
Yeah.
Because they have I don't know. They just smell like passion. It's something about Scorpio men. They're just so passionate, but when they turn off, they can,
Janae, you cannot believe it. I am a huge skeptic.
Okay, well, Janae, what sign are you? I'm believing all that sign shit. Girl,
statements like that. She probably a Scorpio.
Probably so, right? Janae, what sign are you? What about Aries women? I don't really know. Yes, Miss Blue. Hey, girl. Blue and my mama. Then my girl.
Libra women are great.
Yes, Libra women.
They're great. They are hardcore.
Yes, Tavernier. See, they are hardcore. Yes. Leo.
The thing is, Shara, like I'm more so Aries are passion. Aries are a fire sign, but I'm more connected to Sagittarius. I don't do Aries. I don't really know Sagittarius. I get along with for some reason. Oh, she's a Capricorn. That makes so much sense.
Oh, Lord, Janae, that is a miracle. But you're a Capricorn woman. You're a Capricorn woman, so that's how we get that. That's how we are friends. A Capricorn man. If I meet a man and he say he a Capricorn, I'd be like, "Oh, look at the time. I gotta go." I swear to God.
That Suzanne said, Cancio, constant fight between the sun and the moon, the fire and the water, the lion and the crab. It's the week of oscillation. So I mean, I'm.
That is can you go back? Wait, go back to Suzanne. I don't know if she can. When I tell you that is one of the best pictures I've ever seen of anybody. It's her on a beach. You have to see it big, but it's her on a beach somewhere. But somebody caught her in her absolute essence. Like that is, if you know Suzanne, and you see that picture of her, that is Suzanne. That's gonna be on your obituary. Like just put that picture of Suzanne. Y'all need to say shit else.
Someone said
photo.
That like what are y'all saying about Capricorns? Capricorns they're very smart, they're very intelligent, but they can be kind of heartless, just like and Sagittarius. When you look at the serial killers of the nation, they're three signs. They're Gemini, Sagittarius, and Virgo, and Pisces. Those are the four. If they they did not leave those four signs, Jill. All of them: Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy. All of these crazy, they had four signs. They did not leave. And that's what I'm telling Janae. You can say that you don't believe in it, but I didn't believe in this either until I started to Jill. I promise you. What's your sign, Jill?
Virgo.
Oh, I start seeing patterns of people that I don't like or I don't get along with. And Jill, sure enough, they all had the same signs. I was like, what the fuck?
That's me with Capricorns. Like it's a real love-hate, but there's some about Capricorns that, if they feel admonished by you, they just go for the jugular and they don't stop and they can't be stopped. I mean, it's almost inhuman. The experiences I've had with Capricorns, I will tell you off mic who the hell I'm talking about. But shit, I don't. Yeah,
Jill, I put up
candles after I've been around a Capricorn.
I put up a sign. I mean, a post, and I'm gonna read it because Jill, and this is what I'm telling Janae about the signs. I put up a post and I said, what was the most toxic zodiac you've ever dated and what made them toxic and trash? I got 333 comments, and all of them, everyone was like Gemini, Libra, and Sagittarius. And then when they talked about Leos, they just talked about how controlling and narcissistic they were. And so I was just like, damn. And Leos, but then Leos are really, really loyal. And so if you have a toxic Leo on your tail, the problem with that is that they're going to be toxic and they're not going to go anywhere. And so then they because they're so loyal, some Leos, men, will turn like almost obsessive and controlling. And I've noticed that with like when women would talk about it, I'm like, dang, like, but Leos we're really loyal and we get hurt, but we don't show it. And Geminis run the world because they have two personalities.
Yes, Tashara.
And then I looked up, Jill. I looked up, and Janae, you can't deny this. Libras, they have they're usually very like charming. They can be very charming, and the majority of billionaires in the world, Libra is the highest number of billionaires.
I can believe that.
And the list was Libras, Leos, Capricorns. And it made sense, you know? And so like, I just think that if people really, I'm going to be honest. And this is really true, Jill. Do you know that my businesses, I put the staff together by their signs?
Well, that's not a bad idea. If you don't want to have a high turnover, that's something, that's something a lot of people don't think about. And that I commend you.
I have a Pisces. Felicia is a Pisces.
I'm going to adopt that strategy because I don't have a good track record.
Yeah, she told us Leos are they are, but we hide it, and then it comes out later. But
Libras, yeah.
So Libra women
about something.
Libra women are balanced, but Libra women, because they want balance, they always feel that someone is doing something disparaging to them. They always like, oh, you're giving me too much work. Oh, it's unfair. That's literally what I deal with Susan's niece, to be exact, who's a Libra. I mean, she will always feel that something unfair.
Tara said, I will agree that Virgos are crazy. Yes, Tara, we are. Nigga, you read that too.
No.
Oh, that's great. There's so much you cannot deny behind the characteristics of zodiac signs. Tara, you are so right. It's true. It's true because you see it keep happening, and this is why. Mackenzie, well, what sign are you?
Where you see Mackenzie's comment at?
Mackenzie said 1018. He said, I'm probably way up the thread. He said, this is why I hate zodiac analysis. I'm a Capricorn, and another of my best friends are Virgo. Is male or female? We're real. Virgo, Capricorn are very compatible on that. Like on doing a project together, there's no better combo platter than a Virgo and a Capricorn, because we're gonna get it in and we're gonna get it done. But in relationships and when there's our disagreement, we're gonna fight to the death. One of us gonna die before we leave this room. So that's like Virgo and Capricorn.
I look at the Sagittarius, right? This is what I like about Sagittarius. Sagittarius, my mom is a Leo, retired, lives in a house. I bought her and still complains.
Girl, yes.
Mackenzie said he has the same birthday as Ted Bundy.
Well, there you go, Mackenzie.
No, Leos are great. I mean, as far as if you got a Leo on your team, know that you will rarely have a Leo be disloyal to you. They will fall on that sword right with you, or for you, for that matter. The problem is that, like Sagittarius, this is what I know about that sign, Jill. They don't have jobs. Sagittarius people.
Yeah, I don't even know about a Sagittarius.
They have gigs. They don't like sitting down in one place. I can't. I'm telling you that the Sagittarius sign is for me, personality wise, I'm the most compatible with Sagittarius. I rarely have bad relationships with Sagittarius at all. My kryptonite, like I said, are male Libras, and for women Scorpios. But anyway, back to
we know why that is.
back to our conversation.
No, what? Right? What sign are most strippers?
Probably Scorpios.
Scorpios.
It's just something magical about dancers. You can their stories, they have these interesting lives. It's just a lot, So anyway, back to our conversation with
exhibitionism too. That whole thing.
You say what?
I think there's something too about that exhibitionist kind of spirit. I think a lot of people wish that they had a little bit of that, just a little of, just being able to go on stage naked and let people put dollars up your behind.
That's a psychological. A lot of times that's a psychological problem.
It's a lot going on there. If I ever had the physique that, and I wonder too, is it like all this body is so hot I can't keep it to myself? Is that part of it too? Do they look in the mirror and go, I can't keep all this to myself, I gotta go show people this? You know what I'm saying?
There are clubs with plus size women because there's a big population. There's a big population of men who secretly love really large.
Secretly. I said keyword in that sentence, secretly.
Well, no, some are very outward with it, right? Like, and usually smaller men are more attracted to bigger women,
But I think that whole fetishy thing is just. We bigger women, bigger people. Period. We end up with a lot of fetishy things like at first, and then it's like. It's all
depends on where you have a fetish. Let me ask you this: can you have a fetish and have a healthy love life?
I think so. If it's more than just it's all in the conversation. If a guy, if I meet somebody and we have a whole conversation, and on things that we share in common, and all his sexual fantasies don't come up in the first 2 or 3 weeks, then I'm like, okay, maybe. But if his if his first conversation is like, I just always had a thing for big girls, it's like, woo, look at the time.
Yeah, so that gets creepy. So as far as so someone said minor fetishes are okay. Mm-hmm. We do need to have a sex therapist on the show, and not that woman.
Well, Jen, I told you, Jen is always
Is that the woman that shows women how to suck dick and shit?
No, sex therapist Jen, who used to be on my show, and then she moved back to DC. She's the best.
That's not, because there's a woman locally, and she calls herself a sex therapist, but she's not an actual sex therapist. No.
Jen is a licensed practicing sex therapist.
Okay.
So I'll put her on my list.
You said you were going to do that before.
I did. I didn't put it on the list. I said I'm going to call her. Now I'm actually.
So
here goes. You have to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do.
Well, what's the difference between a fetish and a preference?
A fetish is just like you're just kind of oddly. Baby, my wife is, but I'm not on the whole smother me jive. Exactly. It's just like that's
Wait a second. Wait. What does he mean? Smother me jive.
Oh, do you mean smother, envelop your body with hers, or being? How did we get there? Or does he mean the relationship? I just don't know how he got to smother with BB.
What does he mean by smother? Well, and you know what? These people on this goddamn show, they'll make a statement.
That could be a fetish thing he's talking about.
I don't know what he's talking. But the thing is that why do they do that? They make
right because he said that people do pay BBDs to sit on them. That is a whole category. There are videos, lots of them, where they trying to think of who you would know. Yes, not the whole smother me job, right? They who would you know that does? I know 2 or 3 people who do those videos. You are like instantly oddly aroused by something. Oh, fetish. Thank you, Tara. That's a good definition. That's a great definition for fetish. But yeah, people pay to sit on them. There's a whole category of BBD videos. And there's a woman, if I can remember her name anyway, she is one of those, and she gets paid to sit on men's faces. And let's just say she's bigger than me. Okay. And you can't see them. You can't see.
She's probably a millionaire.
Their shoulders when she sits on them.
She's probably a millionaire. And I bet you the majority of those men are white men. You know why? There was a stripper. So we have our next to our shop is a erotic dance pole business. Mm-hmm. And they teach women how to dance on a pole. And there's and she was talking about how larger women are very well versed at it, and it doesn't matter how big you are, that she can teach anybody. Mm-hmm. And so when we were talking, I asked her about her life as a dancer, and she was like, "Yes, Stark." She was like, the white men. She was like, "It's just the weirdest thing." She's like, "The black guys, like." She's like, I know women who, there's a lot of strippers who are also prostitutes. And so they all have sex with them as well. And so she was sharing that with me. But she was like, the white men, she was like, they ask for the weirdest stuff. She's like, they all, like the white strip clubs, they have these like little secret rooms. And she's like, you go in the room and they want you to kick them in the balls. They want you to like grab their nipples and bite their ear, and she was just like the weirdest things. And she's like, they pay so much money to do these weird things, and she's like, we just do it. And I was like, I was like, so how many black guys ask? But she's like, black guys, they'll just want to dance and they'll ask to fuck. And I was just like, wait, why do you think that is? Like, what's happening?
Because they know they need to be punished for all the god awful shit they're doing in the world. That's how they can get in. White men. That's what I'm talking about. They're the ones that I wake up to. Welcome, Danny. Welcome.
So we're going to get back on topic, but
pleased means a whole lot of things.
So let me share with you guys. Yesterday we were talking about
you said my wife ain't that big though, so let's make that clear. Say we were not even insinuating that.
So this is the shit that I'm talking about, and we need to all band together and get this goddamn woman fired.
No, baby, we do watch polls, TB.
Who?
TB was saying y'all must never watch polls. Those scenes were based on factual events. Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
Black men aren't allowed to explore their sexuality and kinks. I don't know.
Not true. Yeah, we do whatever we want to do. All right, so we
black people. Thank you, Trevor. Yes, we do. Okay, yes, please go for this. Go ahead, Star X.
All right, guys. So we're gonna transition to this. Yesterday we talked about. We talked about the fact that we need to be more, in solidarity when we're attacked, and especially when someone attacks our people. And this is an example after we talked about Nick Cannon, after we talked about the difference between when Jewish people are offended and racist shit happens to them and they label it anti-Semitic, and the people are dealt with swiftly and you don't hear from them again. But this goddamn woman, listen to this story. ABC News, and let's just listen to how they fucking referred to her, right? ABC News exec booted over alleged racially insensitive comments, right? And it's very the article is actually informative because misleading because she wasn't fucking booted.
Right.
An ABC News exec who was accused of making racially insensitive remarks while overseeing diversity programs for the network, and has gotten the boot. Barbara Fedida, a senior vice president, had been on leave since last month when it was alleged that during contract negotiations with Black Good Morning America host Robin Roberts, Fedida told colleagues it wasn't like ABC was asking her to pick cotton. The Huffington Post report also alleged that Fedida called The View co-host Sonny Holston low rent while suggesting Black former ABC correspondent Candace Gibson was worth less than toilet paper. The network said in an internal memo Monday that an independent investigation showed Fedida had made unacceptable racially insensitive comments on the job. The investigation substantiated that Ms. Fedida did make some of the unacceptable racially insensitive comments attributed to her. It also substantiated that Ms. Fedida managed in a rough manner and on occasion used cross and inappropriate language. Peter Rice, chairman of Walt Disney Television, wrote to staff in a memo seen by Page 6. But while the HuffPost claimed that there had been settlements with former network staffers who griped about Fedida, Rice denied it. The outside probes found no basis for the claims that Ms. Fedida was the subject of dozens of HR complaints and that ABC News spent millions of dollars in confidential settlements related to Ms. Fedida, as alleged in some press accounts, the memo said. Still, and listen to this shit, and this is why I was so fucking mad that that Marco Rubio shit, listen to this shit. Still, although Ms. Fedida made contributions to the organization over the 20-year span of her career, in light of the overall findings, we have determined that she can no longer serve in a leadership role and will not be returning to ABC News. The memo added that ABC will restructure her position because it consolidated too much power under one role, and that the network will announce initiatives for more inclusive and initiatives for more inclusion and diversity. Fedida reportedly told HuffPost in a statement, "Throughout my career, I have been a champion of increased diversity in network news." I just don't get it. And so I'm asking myself, what is it going to take for us to get together and really take back our power, right? And this is where
they have power in that space, so it's not a take back on that one.
No, true. Let's let me go to this for the conversation on. We put the Black mind, and let me go to this picture for you guys. I can't make it.
Does anybody have how you get the notification to tell you what your balance is? It's like every day it comes up and says, your balance today is whatever. You go through looking like, what the hell is this? This is not supposed to be on here. And then I just spent 10 minutes going, oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, guys, how do we stop this?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. What was that? When I saw that, I was like, what? Does that say Gucci?
Yes. And I want you to.
It doesn't look like a Gucci. It looks like an FPL, like something. Like, where the hell is this Gucci?
I want you to. It's in. It's at an outlet mall.
Oh, okay.
Right outside of an outlet mall, and I just want you to look at this line.
I need everybody to get out of line. Every goddamn body in that line to get out of line.
I mean, this is part of the problem.
And start at your nearest Zara and work your way back up.
I just want to know these people, and I'm not judging them. It wasn't 50. It wasn't. No. It wasn't 50%. And even if it were, 50% off of Gucci is still hundreds of dollars. And so my question is that looking at these people in this line, I'm not judging them, but they don't seem to be millionaires. They don't seem to be very wealthy people, and not the way they're dressed. but simply the fact that they're waiting in line to go into Gucci. Nobody of wealth is going to stand in line to go into that. You're not going to do that. So what creates that? What creates the?
It is. I contest that it is this whole like desire for symbols is a way to say I'm of that class. Several rappers kind of say it. I'm trying to think of one who talks about how having this bag means I'm somebody.
Gucci man?
Huh?
Maybe Gucci man?
Well, there you go. Oh, I forgot. I've talked about him and his wife so many times. It's ridiculous. But I was like, I want y'all to post a picture of y'all wearing a black designer. How about that? When you can do that, I will care about all of these posts of y'all in Gucci and Prada and this, that, and the other. But it says that, you know, I am a part of that class. I'm a part of that club. I have Gucci, I have Louis, I have this, that, and the other. And it's interesting because, you know, I have a few, but mine are so old because they were handed down to me. And my grandmother told me, oh yeah, you go back to that. My great grandmother, their priorities are all fucked up. You were right, Janae. Said that first of all, she said that women buy handbags like these the same way that men invest in watches because they mature and their value increases over time. And so I was stimulus money. Yeah, you're right. They're gonna hate that they did that shit because all that money is about to be gone this week. But we need to talk about that. But anyway, and the Louis luggage that I still have in my closet, one of my great grandmother's Louis Vuitton carry-ons. That bag is older than me, and it might be twice as old as me. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is why. Well, in our family, and I think those, you know, our family members that came before, no, that picture is not Photoshop TV. That's why they bought it, because it was sort of it wasn't a status symbol then. It was the best you could buy. That's why they bought. That's why my grandparents.
Well, that's a very unique outlook. I'm specifically talking about luxury brands, and now I'm going to share with you guys my gripe overseeing poor black people working class black people stand in line for this company.
It's received understandable backlash over their wool balaclava jumper. According to the website, the sweater was designed around, quote, vintage ski masks. Unlike a vintage ski mask, this turtleneck or ski mask has a red lip outline. People shared their anger on social media. So Gucci puts out a sweater that looks like blackface on Black History Month, and then issues an apology because they didn't know that blackface images are racist. Whoever's in charge of okaying this needs to lose his or her job. How could they have possibly missed that? Back in December, Prada had to apologize for a racially insensitive monkey keychain, and now Gucci is apologizing with a statement and tweet. Gucci deeply apologizes for the offense caused by the wool balaclava jumper. We consider diversity to be a fundamental value to be fully upheld, respected, and at the forefront of every decision we make. In the statement that the $890 sweater has been pulled from shelves.
So what?
I think that's just them punking us. It's like,
so let me ask you this, Joe. Are people so damaged mentally that you didn't destroy that goddamn company? Why didn't every fucking black celebrity, every black person, the same way I am asking everyone to hear me out on this, that got mad about the Marco Rubio shit, saying I was doing too much and all this other shit. What is it going to take for our self-respect to get where it needs to be? Because if it doesn't get where it needs to be, then we're done. If brands like that can literally just issue a blanket statement, and you have these black people who their priorities is not to wait in line during a pandemic to get in a fucking Gucci store, right? That is incredibly racist. What is it going to take? What has to happen? Does Gucci have to unearth Robert E. Lee and create a fucking zombie and restart?
Yeah, no.
I mean, what does it take? Can you tell me something that we canceled, that we stuck with? Did someone ever do something to us that wasn't black and we just stuck with it and said enough? Can you think of one of those?
Yeah, no. So I think that the Gucci piece is because I think so many people think it means something to wear Gucci. I mean, they have no, I mean, if they, I think if the average person knew the story of the Gucci family and also Gucci, they might think differently. If you ever go to the flagship store in New York, I mean, that's what I said. My mom, Libras are everything. My grandmother, taught me about why they buy those bags. My mother took me to the Gucci store when I was 16 in New York. Her whole point was this is just like anything else. And if I were you, I would have the bags that you want because they will last you a lifetime. But they don't always have to have initials on them. I have several leather bags that have no initials. Nobody would ever know the extent of what they are. And some people are quiet luxury like that, and other people just have to, they have to wear it like a billboard. And it hasn't seemed to diminish. It seems to have gotten greater. Now, what I will say is that in fashion circles, the conversation is about how the masses wearing Gucci is devaluing the brand. And I want to suspect that people who buy Gucci also read Vogue and, Bazaar and the fashion magazines, and they're hearing this conversation. That line says that those people probably are not. But, we're, to your point, Star X, it's not welcome that people of less fashion intelligence and influence wear it. Like, they want black celebrities to wear Gucci, but the people in their line, they are not for them at all.
I am asking, first of all, black celebrities are continuously wearing Gucci. What I'm asking is, what does it take for the black community to show the power that Kanye West showed the Gap? By saying, if I'm not on your board, I'm out of here. What does it take for us to do what we did in the 60s? It's just so, it's so.
Go to the 60s. Dang, it's 10:46. I gotta get out at 11. My last week of classes is this week. Go back to the, oh damn it. Go back to what you just, the first thing you said.
What is it going to take for us to stand in solidarity with brands that disrespect us, specifically looking at the example of how the bus boycott happened in the 1960s?
See, it's going to take having that kind of power. Kanye has been on a trajectory for a long time, but it wasn't until he got to this, he commands the attention of finance, media, wherever he goes now, right? So he can do it and make an impact. Until people can do it and make an impact, like black people, you're going to see the same thing. And they continue to wear it. You're going to see the same shit you're seeing. Period. It's not going to change because that means something. It's like, I can get this $500 bag and I'm somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? But you got, I won't go into that. I'm not going to go into that. People killed the Michael Kors brand to hell. Thank you. So many people bought his stuff that it got oversaturated and people stopped buying it. Exactly.
I mean, but Michael Kors is still, I don't think the brand is killed. Michael Kors just saw what, $4 billion in revenue, and Gucci saw $7 billion. So it's not really a big.
But Michael Kors, it was a moment. Gucci, but Michael Kors is not as old as Gucci. You can't really compare it to them.
Yeah.
Legacy brand. Michael Kors was, fast fashion as far as they're concerned. But Michael Kors, I probably Roy, they probably are happy, to be honest with you, that the worst thing that could have happened to Michael Kors was it being on that 75% off rack at Macy's. But hello, I bought a bunch of it. Because it's good quality. Michael Kors did do some really good quality stuff. I understand, however, we have to reestablish our value system of pride within ourselves. I would surmise, is that Booker? I would surmise that it was interrupted gradually in the late 70s to present, where we thought that having name brand things meant you had arrived. For your information, you're not doing too much when you're raising valid issues. Those that get it understand. I'd love to have this dialogue with you. Just too much to type. Oh, okay. Well, Mark, you have to come on. We need to do one day. We just bring everybody on, like Shout Out Wednesday or something where we just talk to, because they are, you guys are just as much a part of this show. If they sold Gucci only in city trends, Black folks would gag if they, thank you. Danielle, you are so right. They would not buy it if it was in city trends. That by them, unfortunately, it is not a part of their reach. The people that buy it generally don't spend time on forums or read and do research. They are at IG just for status. Exactly. Multiple Black celebrities, influencers stopped purchasing their products, and most of the Black community didn't care enough to follow suit. Yeah. You're very right, Anissa Starks. In the 80s and 90s, we were pretty strong in the divestment movement. Yes! Oh my God. Can we talk about that? Because Tavernier. Oh, Tavernier. We could talk about the Royal Palm and that brother. That's a whole nother conversation. We can't even.
That fucking Peoples.
Don Peoples. When I tell, that is a conversation. But that is a conversation we need to have, though, Starks, for real.
About people's con the fuck out of us.
Hey, Roy. Hey, Roy. Good morning. How many Black celebrities have clothing lines and stay consistent with the quality and availability? Okay, that's a whole show we need to do. Like, what happened? What happened to the wave of urban brand? I mean, how many did we had? So many. The first day I saw Fat Farm in Ross, I knew it was over. Okay. And then it was just a slow decline. Like, what? And we never have really discussed that. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they more. I mean, look at Kanye's probably the most, not probably, he is the most successsucable Black fashion designer in the history of the United States.
No, actually,
by revenue, he is.
No, not of full ownership. Puffy is. Sean John was the most successful Black owned and operated.
I said by revenue, but you think Sean John
revenue?
Was?
No, and revenue. Yes, Sean John was. Remember, he had 5 spin-off labels under the Sean John umbrella, and his reach was greater. So
I wore Sean John for about 5 years.
What
like
happened?
That's all I wore.
Happened? Damn, I cannot.
He didn't make the clothes. He did not start addressing the size of the clothes, because when I was wearing it, it was between 2001 and 2006. Mm-hmm. And the clothes were big. It was popular to have big clothes, and then people started wearing clothes that you actually could fit around 2007. Right. So people started wearing clothes that fit your body, and that Sean John just never. You know what? Now I vividly remember I started getting ranked by the kids at a program that I ran. They would be just like, Mr. Stars, why you wear these big old clothes? Why are your clothes so big? And I was just like, there's nothing wrong with what I'm wearing. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, these clothes are big. And Sean John never like adjusted the design. He just kept that particular design, and it just, I guess he got outdated. His clothes look outdated.
Well, now, yeah, they're not. I know he had a lot of problems with the manufacturing, and then he had sizing issues for 1 year. But the whole category died. It wasn't just. It was like there were so many brands. I mean, if we go back to Cross Colors, anybody still own anything Cross Colors? Get big and sell, and the same story for all of them. Danielle, yeah, you're right. Am I saying you're right now? Your name right, Danielle? But to your point, yes, a lot of them sold out and they killed. And you know who bought a lot of them? That the company that owns Burlington, they bought a lot of those brands. I'm serious, it's true. And what sucks is as soon as a Black business does really well, there's an offer to buy them out, and we must continue to decline those offers, even when we do, though. Sadly, they don't stop there. Sometimes I've seen it. Tara, you're right. You're right. The money's not worth it. Baggy clothes when I stop. Trevor, you know what? Sean John didn't evolve. Nobody didn't want to wear that oversized shit with Sean John written all over it. True. Why are your clothes so big? So that was it. That's what happened. True. It went hand in hand with the media. T-shirts down to the knees and now guys in midriffs. TB, okay, you get in. Cross Colors made a comeback recently. Yeah. Daniel. Thank you, babe. Wait a minute. I shop in Burlington. TB good for I shop at Home Goods, like a religion, so no consistency. Yeah. Anyway, so
I think
okay, well that's the end of that conversation. Now we know.
Why? I mean, it's
we
funny.
A whole decade of Black fashion in 2 minutes.
So I don't have, Jill. I have a horrible sense of style, and usually I'll have either whoever I'm dating at the time have her go out and pick my clothes out, or
you don't have a horrible sense. You just don't have a sense of style.
Yeah, there you go. So the other thing is I try to only buy Black owned products. So I couldn't find any Black.
Wow.
I couldn't find any Black owned jean brand. So most of my jeans is Levi, but I found a Black owned jean brand that I'm looking into. And so the two non-Black clothing, the two non-Black designers that I wear are Levi and Ralph Lauren. So I literally don't have anything else besides those two brands, and everything else is a Black owned brand. It's a Hungry Black Man t-shirt that I get printed at a Black owned printer. And then I wear Danny's t-shirts from Roots Collective. And then I wear other t-shirts from other Black owned companies. And then my shoes, I found a Black owned loafer company. And everyone always asks, like, where'd you get those loafers from? But and then as far as running shoes, I use Brooks because they Brooks and Asics. So when it comes to fashion, I do, and then I have a whole arsenal of dashikis. So much so that I was told to stop wearing it. So people start thinking I was a hotep. But because I was wearing them every day. I mean, I remember. So I stopped wearing the dashikis because people were like, okay, it's enough. But the thing is that I love dashikis because they're very comfortable. You get to just put it on over either some slacks or some jeans, and you just keep it going, keep it moving. And I think that the other reason that Black fashion isn't doing well is because it's too spread out. And we're working on aggregating so many different things, because I think if you can go to a one-stop shop and peruse and look through and say, oh my God, I like these jeans, or I like that shirt, you'll be able to see a more sort of embracing of the brand. I have this pool company, and I'm looking at this fucking pool right now. These fucking people, I paid them for I had a Black company, I had a Black owned company, and they did so well. They were so professional. I was so happy I got them other contracts on this, in the neighborhood, and I put them on the live. And, Jill, after about 6 months, it just was a disaster. They just stopped coming. They let the pool turn green. And so then I had to hire this other company. So I hired this other company, and the guy had a nervous breakdown. And so he quit. And so then my pool was green again.
Was your pool that nasty?
No, but he had the breakdown. My neighbor told me that he ended his business because he had a nervous breakdown, and I had to find another company. So I'm gonna blast this company. The name of the company is Pinch a Penny Pool Service. Pinch a Penny Pool Service.
Oh yeah, okay.
If you have a pool, do not use that company if you're in Miami-Dade County. They are unprofessional. They don't know what they're doing. And the woman's name is Renetta, who runs the company. And I've called this woman for 3 weeks. And no, we're going on 4 weeks now. I went out of town. I went all that. She goes, "Oh, I promise you, when you get back, your pool's gonna be amazing, and you can go and dip and blah blah blah." So I come back from out of town all excited because I'm like, God, finally my pool's back. Jill, I come back to this shit. It looks like fucking Swamp Thing. It looks worse than what it was before I came. And I say all this to say, as a Black consumer, when I called back up there, she had more fucking lies. I said, "Listen, lady, I told you before I left, oh, don't talk to me like that." I said, "No, I'm talking to you in the exact same way that your technician spoke to me. He used the N-word and he was not Black. It was some Spanish guy here, and he was like, yeah, nigga." I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Excuse me, I understand that you might have some Black friends, but oh no, bro, my grandma's Black, bro. I'm Black." I was like, "Yeah, so you're not Black, and I would appreciate it if you don't use that word." And so he felt some type of way, and I knew that he was going to like not come back to my house. So they sent another technician because I complained about him, and then I realized that these people don't know what they're fucking doing. And so I emailed her, and now today I'm going on a slander fest. No, and so Jill, going on 4 weeks, right? It wasn't 3, it was 4 fucking weeks. So we hired this new company yesterday, and now I'm looking at the goddamn pool. The shit's almost fucking blue. It's almost done. He came out for one service. I saw him out there scrubbing, cleaning, doing all this stuff, putting the chemicals, measuring, shaking shit, cleaning the filter. And so now I'm looking at the pool and I'm like, damn, it's almost remediated, And so my point is that when Black businesses do well and they leave, I really want you guys to understand, if you own a business, someone said Pinch a Penny is a chain store. The store you use is probably bad. I use Pinch a Penny in Miramar, and they're great.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say it's a corporation.
Yeah, that's why I said in fucking Miami. That's what I said in Miami. I don't know the one we have. Why don't you YouTube how to clean your pool? Because I don't have time for that. I don't have time to. I look at what I do have time for that. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to clean my own pool because I don't want to make a mistake, and I'm not really good at stuff like that, like cleaning pools and stuff.
That was a very honest and authentic answer. You get a gold star for today for that one.
Thank you. I used to love those. I used to love getting gold stars. I'm serious, man. I was such a nerd. I love that shit. I used to be Joe. If I didn't get the 5 stars at the end of the week for the prize, I would have a fit.
I'm getting
exactly. That's my whole point. And what do you think about? Let me ask you, as a woman, when it comes to yeah, it is a science, because I get up in there and then my dreads start falling out because my pH levels are off. That's that Leo.
Okay.
Listen, Jill, what do you think? Yes, just because you can't do, you can't do it doesn't mean you have to.
Hey, Bethel. Hey, baby.
Let me ask you this, Jill, as a woman, right? Do you find it, if you were with a guy and he was not, he couldn't fix cars, he couldn't change tires, he couldn't fix anything, or he wasn't good with his hands, but he paid for everything to get done, would you feel better if he did it himself?
No. No.
Okay.
I think that your time could be better used doing other things. You know what I'm saying? If you have the wherewithal to be able to pay for it, then yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I deal with that. Like, if I could do my own damn hair, I wouldn't look like this right now, right? But no, I think if you can afford it, then yes, because your time can be better spent doing something else.
Mm.
Yeah, I
And
mean, listen.
do you think that I'm gonna put this poll?
Why is it so hard to find black people, black house cleaning companies? I've been through 3. And the last one, the girl said when she came, she had her lunch in the bag. And she told me that she might have to run out. Her husband was going to come by. She cleaned my bathroom and started the kitchen.
And left?
And left. Never to be heard from.
Did you pay her in full?
No. And that was the worst part. I was like, damn, you didn't even get your money. And she was like, oh, I'm going to be right back. I got to go take her husband something or something. They was going to do something. And she was going to be right back. She never came back.
So I hired a black cleaning company. And this is the problem. I hired the black.
Took pictures of my house and put the shit online. We cleaned Jill Tracey house. My hand to God. I swear to you. My hand to God.
So I hired a black cleaning service, and the lady that came was like commenting on the house. Then she started asking me if I was single. Then she started asking me all these personal questions, and it was very uncomfortable. And she did a horrible job. And so I didn't hire her back. Then I got another black cleaning company, and she put so much bleach in the house that when I came back, my eyes.
Your eyes started watering.
I think black people pass on to mess up. We tend to not go into them. So you find, I just love my company in like industries. Like, I think it's a key. We want to do that stuff anymore. This Joe, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. This was from
you breaking up. Is it me or are you breaking up real bad?
But you're like, oh my God, what's up with coronavirus? I'm tired of seeing numbers. The state adds 9,900. Like every day it's just 10,000, 11,000, 10,000, 11.
I'm telling you, that's why listen, I told you, I think I told you yesterday, my physicians both, Ashby, was like, I'm gonna need you to quarantine for the next 21 days. The next 3 weeks are gonna be horrible. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That might be why. The next 3 weeks are gonna be horrible. I'm trying to get my hair done before this.
Oh, that was me. That was me breaking up like that.
Yeah.
They said.
Yeah, he was like, don't even play with it. He was like, because and if you don't believe it, the greatest issue is that if you get sick, there's nowhere for you to go. Emergency rooms, ICU units are at 130% capacity right now. At this very moment. The cases that they're receiving now are from Memorial Day weekend. And so we haven't even seen the wave of 4th of July. So the only way and there's no cure, there's no nothing. The only way to keep yourself from getting this is not to be around other people. Period. That's it. There's nothing else. He was real clear about that. And he was like, you are risking your life. He don't want me to go to the grocery store. I can't even do my grocery store chronicles. And I was scarred about that one. But I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And it's not that doctor. It's another doctor. I'm about to call Ashby and be like, can I go? And he probably is going to say no. Stay your ass home. But where's my class, y'all? Hold on. Let me see if they're here. Because I don't see them. But it's 11:07. Hold on. I got to get in here.
wanted to show this, Jill. This the chef from Dukanoo put
Mm-hmm.
this post up, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. That's why I asked that, right? Okay, he put women have an innate. I'm not shit. Okay. Women have an innate desire for a strong man whose genes ensure that her children will stand a better chance for survival. Bigger and stronger men could throw a spear much further, run faster than a smaller, weaker man, and would most likely be whatever successful at providing food and protecting the family. Men don't throw spears to kill game anymore, and the new man sits at his computer making millions a year and whatever to get Uber Eats to deliver his food and family as well. A provider is always attractive to a woman who may have to depend on a man in her most vulnerable state when giving birth. At that time, she needs companionship and support more than ever. He needs to do a fucking spell check. The new man can provide, but some women succumb to primitive instincts and will go with the provider and cheat with the so-called hunk of a man who may be working at McDonald's. What say you? What do you think about that?
What was the question again?
You weren't listening?
No, I'm trying to find where my students are. I'm sorry. I said, say it again. What was
Oh, the
the
student. I mean, are your students there?
Yeah, it's Zoom. So I'm like waiting for the notification to come up. Like I wait for you every. I'm waiting for this, the schools to put it up, and I haven't seen it yet, and it's 11:10. But no, say the last sentence again. I was listening until I started typing.
No, he put up a post pretty much saying that women are susceptible to men who are large and muscular, and that can be seen as a defender or protector, and
Yeah.
that women will cheat with guys like that work at McDonald's, even though she's being provided.
Well, now was it here? Oh my goodness! I just had this conversation. That supposed to any women are not trying to deal with the hunk who works at McDonald's, but she might let him, knock it out. See, this is the problem we were talking about. He's around 50 years old. He probably is Vessel.
No, he's 60. He's 60 years old.
Right. And somebody he was with cheated on him. He's a great man, great provider. And she cheated on him with some boy who had,
why do people get so mad? Why do you think people get so upset when they get cheated on?
Oh, because it's a violation of your trust. It's horrifying. I trusted you.
I've never been cheated on as far as my knowledge is concerned. But I don't think the only
you heard that sentence.
If I'm married and I get cheated on, that would make me furious. But if I weren't married and I got cheated on, I probably wouldn't care.
Oh God, no. Mm-mm.
I just wouldn't.
That is right. Goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, married, yes, but just dating, not so much.
That too, but because dating, it depends on what you call just dating. You know what I'm saying? That dating is not like going to a restaurant and that meal was kind of shitty. I probably won't be back. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't know what you call that. But if you consider yourself dating somebody, like this is not like you introduce. Okay, here's a delineator. If this is somebody that you introduce to your friends as him, hey girl, this Charles, right? Or you don't introduce your friends. Oh, who is he? I never met him before. Oh, that's Charles. Those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if he is Charles, if he cheat on you, it's Armageddon. If girl, he is a non-factor. That's the difference.
So she said, Sarks, if you have ever been in love and are not married yet, believe me, you would be hurt.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. No.
McDonald's, Mr. McDonald's ain't gonna hurt you, but Mr. 60-year-old man is gonna hurt.
This Terrence said he doesn't believe in monogamy for all humans, regardless of what they do for a living. The mindset of men these days tend to be off. Either way, they tend to feel like the gift of the situation. And when people cheat, it rarely has anything to do with the person they're cheating on. Therefore, it is irrelevant who they are cheating with. I agree. I agree with that. I think that people who cheat on people are unfortunately low lives simply because of the betrayal of trust. I just want to know that when people get cheated on, why do they go so crazy? Why do they end up killing people or beating someone?
Okay, the kids are here. Love y'all. Okay.
I think that people who cheat on people